Hello everybody and welcome back to another week of my training vlog. So if you remember from last week, I left you on the last run of the week was that Sunday long run, the 20 miler that I did in Spain. So going into Monday, I woke up a little bit cramping up in my calves, probably due to lack of rehydration after the run on Sunday. So I will remember to drink more and have some electrolytes after this. So because I was cramping up, I just went out for an easy 5 mile run at lunch. I probably would have double easy while I was out there in Spain and done about 12 miles in the day, but it was just a 5 mile easy run on the Monday. Thank you to Harriet for doing the recording on the track session. So Tuesday, it was my last full day out there in Torrevieja in Spain, and in the morning we all went down as a group to do a track session. And what I did on the Tuesday was pace Sam on some of the reps of her track session. So it kind of looked similar to what Poppy did last week. So it was 3 lots of 1 mile, and then in between those 4 lots of 400s. So around about 6 miles in total for the whole session there. In terms of what I did in the session, so I hopped in and out of, I did 2 of Sam's mile reps. So I did 2 400s within that mile rep to correct that. So I hopped in on the 2nd and the 4th lap usually. As Sam went out on the 1st lap, I then picked her up on the 2nd lap, had my rest while she did her 3rd lap, and then paced the last lap. And I was hitting around about 73, 74 seconds, which equates to around about 5-minute mile pace. So Sam was keeping this up for the whole mile and then have 4 lots of 400s in between. I did take a bit of a rest on the first few of the 400s, but after I'd done the last mile rep, I hopped in and did a couple of those 400s. So I think I did the 2nd and the 4th one again, but just did 300s this time. So I just led Sam and Calli out to the final corner, and then when they got out of the wind and had the home straight there, I just pulled to one side and let them through, as I'd about blown up after 300 metres at probably around 70-second a lap pace there. So that was a great session on Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday evening, this was my last run in Torrevieja. So I did a 5 mile easy recovery run down the Via Verde, and that was with Calli and Sam. Wednesday for me, that was a complete day off. I travelled back that day. I was working in the afternoon and I just needed a bit of a rest for my legs anyway, probably after that 20 miler. The track session on Tuesday, it was a good time to have a rest day as I hadn't had one in a while. So Wednesday, complete day off. Thursday, after work, I went for a tempo session. So I actually went to my grandma's and parked at hers, met up with her, so she could see me go past on the loop there. So it was around about a 500 metre loop, which I did around 10 laps of, and did a 5k tempo that evening in about 6:30 a mile pace. I did make sure I got nice and warmed up, did a couple of drills and strides to start with, but my legs were really not quite there again, similar to the previous week's tempo. So I will be aiming to try and reduce the pace of this tempo, so looking to go towards low 6-minute mile paces in future sessions that I do, because I do think these tempo sessions can really help sort of my 5k and my 10k speed, and eventually sort of that half marathon and marathon speed too. So that was Thursday session there, that 5k tempo at around 6:30s. Friday was a double easy day, so I did the longer run during my lunch hour with Steve. That was around about 8 miles. We did some quite nice scenery over a couple of trails and a bit of a hilly run really around there. So yeah, 8 miles there with Steve midday on Friday, and then after work Friday I did a 5k with Ray, so that was a little bit flatter, but we did that in the evening and it rounded off 11 miles for the day on Friday, so a double easy day Friday. Saturday's run, so this was a progression run that I did later on in the day. I was a bit busier, went for a walk in the morning, had a bit on in the day, so I got out for my run of the day. I wanted it to be sort of an easy, steady run, so a progression run was great for this. I started at 8:11 a mile and progressed this down into sort of the mid 7-minute miles and did about 2 or 3 sub 7-minute miles by the end, that I was reaching 6:36 by the end I finished this 10k progression. I then jogged 1.5 miles home back from the shops, so it turned out about 7.5-8 miles in total this run. To Sunday, so the last day of running of the week. So I did a long run early in the morning. I went and met Steve and Robbie for 10 miles of my 17 miler. So I did about 4 miles there and 3 or 4 miles back. It felt good, and I did progress it down into the last few miles where I hit some like low 7s and sub 7-minute miles. It was around about 7:30s in total for the whole run, but over quite a few hills. This was quite good going and I was pleased with that. So in the afternoon as well, I got out with Ray for her second 5k of the week. So she's getting ready for the 10k in Sutton Park in 2 weeks' time, which I'm sure she'll do great at. So that rounds up the whole of the training week there. So quite happy with that. I did 2 quality sessions, so the track session on Tuesday and the the Sunday long run, I'd say, and then the tempo was a good session, some good work, but I feel like it could have gone a little bit better if I had tacked those tempo sessions on fresher legs there. In terms of mileage for a week, I think that was around 55 to 60 miles for a week. Can't remember the exact figure, but it's somewhere around about where I wanted to be, holding 50 to 60 miles in the training at the moment. So just leaving you with a couple of areas for focus, both in my training and with the video. So firstly, in my training, what I want to be doing is targeting keeping up with those 2 and 3 sessions per week to improve that speed endurance element, which I think there's a big area for improvement in my running. So it's trying to translate some of that 1 lap speed that I've got over the sort of 400 meter reps, which I've been doing the last couple of weeks. And if I can try and translate that into a similar speed for the 800 meters, maybe not quite as quick, but trying to hold some of that pace for low 5-minute miles for the 800 meters, and then try and work that up into, say, mile reps and beyond there. So I think that's really going to help sort of my race times over 5k, 10k, and it will give me that confidence to knock down sort of my half marathon and marathon times when I choose to do them. And again, the second part of this is the focus for the videos. So as I've not really got any races coming up that I'm building towards, I suppose Manchester Marathon in the distance future in April, where I'm sort of building up my long run to stay in shape for that, but it's not really an A goal for this year. I wanted to focus more on my videos, so I'm doing a sort of session-based focus. So I might do, say, a track session focus one week, might look at the long run on a future video, but I'll still keep in a brief training roundup as well. So we'll have the training roundup in there for the week, but we'll go into a bit more detail on, say, a specific session within that week, and I'll try and get a bit of clips, bit of content, and talk you through some of those sessions there. So thanks again for listening. It's been another great week's training. See you again next week.